Hello, everybody. This is Joe from PrepAgent. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and we'll get started. Hello, Natalia. I'm going to take my jacket off so it doesn't rub against my microphones. I know that noise can be annoying. Sounds crackly. And we're going to do some vocabulary today. So this week, my Wi-Fi may have a little trouble. If so, Adrian will pick it up in the chat, so look for that. But I'm assuming everything will be okay. This week, I am at my mother's house, and she's 78. So I'm helping her out this week, which means she is going to her swim class with her friends this morning where they get to gossip about all their grandchildren. Then I get to drive them to the Mac stores. They could get sold on apps they don't need. And then they could take app classes in an hour at the Genius Bar, which I'll have to explain to them later what those apps mean. So then we can enjoy a 4 o'clock dinner, at which after that I could get guilted into walking a bunch of old ladies' dogs. So that is my week for this week. Very exciting. Love hanging out with the seniors. Nah, just kidding. I love seeing my mom. But it is funny how they all have dinner at 4:30. Okay, so moving right along. Anybody ever love going to the App Store or the Mac store and they sell all these old ladies on these apps that none of them know what they are and know what they're talking about? They spend 5 hours explaining what they mean. Okay, so here we go. So now we got vocab. So the first one on the board is plottage. We're doing vocabulary today. Vocabulary is the foundation for everything, right, guys? Do not do any questions until you have vocabulary nailed down. So the first vocabulary word on the board is plottage. What does that mean? What is plottage? Thanks, Krista. Okay, so plottage is the combination of the parcels, common ownership of 2 or more units, so the value could increase. That is what plottage is. I like to use the example of 1 + 1 = 3. There you go, Draco. Good stuff. Okay, a listing. What's a listing? Who knows? What's a listing? A listing is an employment contract. What are you getting employed to do? Get employed to find a buyer. Find a buyer. Good. In what type of listing do you not have to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? In what type of listing do you not have to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? What do you guys think? Exclusive right to sell. Are there any types of exclusive listings where you do have to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? Are there any types of exclusive listings where you do have to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? Exclusive agency listing. Good. So it's exclusive right to sell where you do not have to prove it. Who's at the webinar yesterday? And you guys at the webinar yesterday? Okay. Adrian did great, right, guys? Getting better each time. He's going to do more and more of these. All right, so next word is fixture. Fixture. What's a fixture? So I thought of yesterday because Adrian actually went over this last night. He went over the fixture concept last night. If you guys were on the webinar last night. So everybody who's there last night should know this one. So this is personal property that becomes real property. Great job, Trina. Okay, and how do we test for a fixture? I see some of you guys writing Maria. What does that stand for? What does Maria stand for? What does Maria stand for? Method, adaptability, relationship, intention, agreement. Method, adaptability, relationship, intention, and agreement. Good. All right. Chattel. What does chattel mean? Chattel is personal property that becomes real property. Excuse me, that's a fixture. Whoops. Sorry, slip. Chattel's personal property. It's movable. Movable. It would have been on autopilot there, right, guys? Sorry. Chattel is movable. Chattel, cattle, cows move. Thanks, Terry. Okay, net listing. What's a net listing? Net listing. What's that? A net listing is when you get a commission above and beyond a set price. So if a house is $500,000 and you sell it for $550,000, then you get 50 grand. Sell it for 500, you get nothing. All right. The definition is not whether it's illegal or legal. Okay. Before you guys get into illegal or illegal, you gotta know the definition of it. And it's just getting a price over, getting a commission above and beyond a set price. Lots of things you learn about are illegal. What are some illegal things you learn about? We learn about blockbusting. We learn about price fixing. We learn about steering. We learn about estate at sufferance, right, guys? So this is just one of many things that could be illegal that you're learning about. Usury, yes, we learn about a lot of things. Net listing is not illegal in every state, but it's always frowned upon. So even if it's not illegal, it's not something you want to do. But many states, it's illegal. Okay, novation. What's a novation? What's a novation? Novation. So nova is Latin for new, right, guys? Nova's Latin for new. Release clause. What's a release clause? A release clause, when you pay a portion of the loan, it has to do with a blanket mortgage. That portion is released. So do you guys know what blanket mortgages are? So to understand what a release clause is, you have to understand what a blanket mortgage is. So a blanket mortgage is when you borrow against more than one property. Okay, blanket mortgage is when you borrow against more than one property. Use more than one property as security for that debt. So let's say you borrow against two properties, just using a very simplified example. You pay off half of it. One of those properties is no longer used as collateral, meaning if you default in that second half, that first property is not in jeopardy anymore. And that release clause releases that portion of the property. A vendor. What's a vendor? What's a vendor? A vendor is the giver, the seller. Okay, remember our OREE rule? What's the OREE rule, guys? Vendor, lessor, give, or optionor. Okay, the give or the proprietor for your pleasure. Optiony, lessee, grantee, vendee, gives me property, makes me happy. Remember, OR, give or. All right, EE, receives. There's no exceptions to this rule. Okay, not even with mortgagee or mortgagor, or trustor or trustee, which comes up a lot. People always think there's an exception to that rule, but we know the mortgagor or trustor, they're the giver of that promissory note, the evidence of the debt. Okay. A deed. What's a deed? Who knows what is a deed? A deed is a promise to pay. It's evidence of transfer. Deed is an evidence of transfer. So Natalie, the promise to pay would be the promissory note. Okay, that'd be the note. The deed is the evidence of the transfer. All right, here we go. Any of you guys ever been to the desert in California, like Coachella Valley, that area towards Palm Springs? It's not very exciting here. Okay, what's a trade fixture? If you guys have never been here, don't worry about it. You're not missing much. Don't tell my mom. Except for you, Jillian, you'll love it. My bad. Okay, trade fixtures. Trade fixtures, what's that? Trade fixtures is related to a business. It's a business office. Okay, trade fixture is for a business office. Can you guys give me an example of a trade fixture? Nice job, Monica. Dentist chair, perfect example. Any of you guys got any other examples? So we got dentist chair, pizza oven, salon shampoo bowl. Wouldn't know a lot about that. I'm pretty bald. Okay, you guys get the idea. Jewelry cabinet, salon dryer, register, good one, Paula. These are all good examples of trade fixtures. Is a trade fixture personal or real property? It's personal. Is a trade fixture movable or immovable? Is it movable or immovable? Okay, so they're movable, all right? Even if they're fastened to the ground because they go with the person, all right? So practically speaking, it doesn't matter if they're immovable or immovable. But a trade fixture, like things you guys mentioned, like dentist chairs, salon chairs, a cash register, things of that nature, go with the people when the lease is done or when the property's sold or whatever it may be. I mean, just think, if you rent an office and there's a dentist chair, you don't want that unless you're a dentist. That's right, George. So it would be chattel. Good. Okay, Adrian went over this yesterday as well. Ownership and severalty. So he did go over this yesterday. Who remembers this from yesterday's webinar? This has to do with single ownership. Sole ownership. Good. What is the yin to the yang for this? So the hot to the cold. So if you're not in severalty, then what is it? So if it's not ownership and severalty, it would be concurrent. Nice job, Andrea Herrera. It would be concurrent. Great job. Joint tenancy is a type of concurrent estate. Natalia. So Paula, concurrent means when there's more than one owner. And there's different types of concurrent estates like joint tenancy, tenancy in common, things of that nature. Terry, I'm not sure why it says that. Seems to be working for us. You may want to check that on your end. Or try a different browser like Chrome. Chrome and YouTube are both owned by Google, so usually they work together pretty well. Okay, an easement. What is an easement? It's okay, Cassandra. Motivated. I like it. What is an easement? An easement's an encumbrance, but what does it give you the right to do? It gives you the right to cross somebody's property to get to another. Is an easement a form of a license? Is an easement a form of a license? What do you guys think? Yes, it is. A license is nothing more than the right to use somebody else's land for a designated purpose. So it is. Okay? Who could tell me some different types of easements? That's right, Paula. And an easement can be revoked. If you're abusing the easement, like if you're having parties all over it, or having like a monster truck rally every time you cross it. So pertinent easements can go with the land. Prescriptive easements What's that have to do with? What's a prescriptive easement? Anybody? What's a prescriptive easement? Prescriptive easement, you're using it for a certain amount of time, and that time frame changes as per what state you're in. Okay, what's an easement in gross? You guys know? Easement in gross is when there is no dominant tenement. No dominant tenement. What is meant by a dominant tenement? Who knows? What is meant by a dominant tenement? Cameron, yes, it is similar to adverse possession. Adverse possession is more for property, but it functions in the same way, and easement by prescription. Easement by prescription and adverse possession function very similarly. Okay, so dominant tenement is the one that benefits from it. I like to say they're the one walking over, and the servient is the one being walked on. Grandfather clause. Who could tell me what they know about a grandfather clause? Grandfather clause allows a property to continue used in the same way it has been, even if it doesn't comply with zoning laws. Okay, so it's when you've had a certain right to use a property a certain way based upon the local laws, then the laws change, but that doesn't change your ability to use it. Yes, Cameron. Okay, exclusive agency listing. What is exclusive agency listing? Owner can sell it themselves. Good. So you have to prove that you are the procuring cause. How's my connection today? Everybody's hearing me okay? Seems like it's working pretty well. Okay, marginal tax rate. Marginal tax rate. Okay, that's getting taxed on the next dollar earned. I don't know, Sherry. You got any suggestions? What platform we should start using? Okay, straight note. What's a straight note? Okay, straight nose when it's interest only. Okay, meaning if you borrow, let's call it $100, the $1 is interest a month, you're only paying the $1. You're not paying down that initial debt, also known as the principal. What's it called when you're paying only part of the interest? So you borrow $100 and you owe $1 a month and you're only paying 50 cents a month. What's that? Who could tell me what that is? What did I just describe? Negative amortization. Good job, guys. That's negative amortization. Defeasible estate. Defeasible estate. Who thinks that I should get Adrian a fedora hat as well? I'm looking at his profile picture. Handsome guy. I'm wondering if he should wear a fedora too. What do you guys think? Should it be like our thing for the company? Like our uniform? He's got to do him. That's right, George. Everybody's got to do you. Or is that my thing? Is that my thing, the fedora? I should not share it. I'll be honest, guys. I only really wear that fedora for the online marketing stuff for my brand. In day-to-day life, I don't like walk around with a fedora a whole lot. Okay, defeasible estate. Defeasible estate. Okay, so that's when you can lose the property. Oh, fedorable. Thank you, Katie. I think I'm blushing now. Okay, so it means you can lose the property upon this happening of a certain event, like selling alcohol. It's also known as a fee simple determinable. Okay, so if you guys see fee simple determinable, don't be confused. It's the same thing as fee simple defeasible. Everybody got that? I don't know if it'll come up on your exam or textbook, but just in case it does, I don't want you guys to get thrown off. All right, so give me a thumbs up. So if you see fee simple determinable, the same as fee simple defeasible. Okay, as I said, I'm not sure if it'll come up in your books or exam, but if it does, I hope you guys won't get thrown off by that. All right, personal property. This should be an easy one. We should all get this one. Unless you're brand new, then it's okay if you don't. Okay, this is things that are generally movable. They go with the person. I'd say this is probably the second or third thing that comes up in your textbooks. What's the first thing that comes up in every real estate textbook? Anybody know? Who studied? In all your classes, the first thing they discuss is what? I'm pretty confident it's the same for everybody. The first thing they discuss is the bundle of rights. Usually every textbook starts off with a bundle of rights. There you go, Draco. The bundle of rights, the right to use, possess, encumber, dispose, do anything you want with it, subject to certain limitations. The bundle of rights. And then they go into personal versus real. Okay, cloud on title. What's a cloud on title? Cloud on title. Something affects the way the title is transferred. Yeah, defect. Good job, Reggie. It's a good definition. A defective title. Good. Or something affecting it, like an encumbrance. What are special assessment liens? I don't usually talk about this a whole lot, so it's good that it came up in our vocabulary today. What is a special assessment lien? Okay, that is for local improvements. I think somebody said like sidewalks, things of that nature. Good. Emblements. Emblements are for crops. For annual crops produced for sale. Right. Next one, prepayment penalty clause. What's a prepayment penalty clause? Pay it off early. Good. And they charge you that because then the lender can't make their interest. Okay, fixtures. I think we went over this before. Okay, it's personal property becomes real property. Assessment. An assessment. Assessment's finding the value for tax purposes. So Paula, marginal tax rate is just when you get taxed on the next dollar earned. It has to do with income tax. Okay. This is similar to an appraisal, but it's done for different purposes. It's just income tax, Paula. No examples, just on your taxes. You make more, you pay more. Abstract of title. Abstract of title is a summary. Good. Just remember, abstract is a summary. Excellent, guys. Exclusive listing. We talked about this earlier before today. What is an exclusive listing? It means there's only one broker. Okay, remember we talked about the difference between the exclusive right to sell, exclusive agency, but both of them only involve one broker. So procuring cause is needed only if it's an exclusive agency listing. Exclusive right to sell, no procuring cause is needed. Okay, an acre. How big is an acre? 43,560 square feet. 43,560 square feet. All right. Good job, everybody. So that's it for today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a good day. Thanks, everybody. Joe from PrepAgent. It's over. But back again tomorrow.